these young men and women to understand the importance of making the right choice. I tell all of my athletes, when you go to school, help yourself. Stay focused. Use basketball. Don't let basketball use you. I love the game. The game has been good to me, and I just want to give back to the young people who have opportunity so the game can be good to them. Crime-free looks like me.
Do your part. Join the movement to a safer Bahamas.
Clint Watson has been the trusted voice of journalism for over 2 decades. He is your first choice for hard-hitting discussions, your best choice for current affairs issues and investigative journalism. It's time to start the journey of relentless journalism. It's time to start the journey of facts over fiction. It's time for the Rundown with Clint Watson here on ZNS, where only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
Your #1 team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
And that is going to do it for us here in the North. I'm Raven Davis.
I'm Jay Flea, but it's on time to head to the gym. Raven, you working out today?
Yeah, it's hoping to train with the Caribbean team next year, but we'll see.
We still have a space for you as the assistant manager, Raven. Maybe I can make something work for you.
Awesome, and that's going to do it for us. Well, here's a live look at the Bahamas tonight on your screen. They're coming your way next.
ZNS News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
First at 11. Tonight, the Office of the Prime Minister weighs in on Moody's improving its credit rating for the nation, a positive economic turn at a crucial time. Also, the nation's top cop, Shanta Knowles, reflects on her first 90 days in office as the Commissioner of Police. And former Cabinet Minister Desmond Bannister is encouraging the FNM to reconsider its decision related to Killarney MP Dr. Hubert Minnis. Tonight at 11 starts now. Good evening, everyone. I'm Royson Jones, and this is the Bahamas Tonight at 11. Welcome to the broadcast. In a significant boost for the country's economic reputation, international credit ratings agency Moody's has upgraded the Bahamas' outlook from stable to positive. While the country's overall rating remains at a B1, or what's considered junk status, the Office of the Prime Minister is calling the upgrade a signal that the Bahamas is regaining its financial footing. Devontae Hanna leads us off tonight at 11.
Well, it's a cautiously optimistic outlook for the Bahamas. In its latest review, Moody's gave the Davis administration a vote of confidence, which for the first time in nearly 20 years shifted the country's credit outlook from stable to positive. Now, Director of Communications in the Office of the Prime Minister, Lachey Raming, says this upgrade now sends a major signal to the rest of the world.
The Bahamas is back on solid footing, and it didn't happen by chance.
The ratings agency credited the revision to what it called meaningful fiscal consolidation over the past 2 years, as the country grappled with the insurmountable loss left behind by 2019's Hurricane Dorian and the economic fallout linked to the coronavirus pandemic of 2020.
Moody's cited our return to a budget surplus prospect, our declining debt to GDP ratio, and the structural reforms we had put in place to improve revenue and control spending.
Still, the B1 rating remains, meaning the country is considered a high-risk borrower or under the junk status. Raming says the Davis administration is hoping for more flexibility in credit ratings as the country is highly susceptible to external shocks.
But we are hopeful and positive that in the next 6 to 12 months that we could continue to see a further trending upwards with the Bahamas credit rating.
But according to Raming, Prime Minister Davis, who also serves as the Minister of Finance, views this as a major step forward and a sign of hard work.
Over the last 3.5 years, the Prime Minister has led a national effort to stabilize our finances, rebuild trust, and lay the groundwork for a stronger, more resilient economy.
Moody's has cautioned that any setbacks in fiscal consolidation or failures to implement could reverse the positive momentum. But for now, the message to investors and the international community, according to Director Ramming, is clear.
We are in a stronger position today than we were 3.5 years ago.
Now, Moody's says it will continue monitoring the country's fiscal discipline and resilience to those external shocks, and a full upgrade could very well be on the horizon, barring unforeseen circumstances. And that's what the road ahead will look like. Royston?
Thanks, Devontae. Well, ZNS wants to make a correction to what was reported last night. As you just heard, Moody's has improved its outlook for the Bahamas from stable to positive. Meantime, the central bank governor is providing a fiscal forecast as the country enjoys this positive outlook rating from Moody's, while it cautiously watches a potentially escalating global trade war. Governor John Rowell shared his reaction with our Corvell Pyfrom.
Like the government, the governor welcomes international credit rating agency Moody's improved outlook for the country's economy. But Governor John Rowell is still cautious.
The important point to stress insofar as the positive outlook is for credit ratings is that one has to continue to look at the medium-term prospects for the Bahamian economy and the medium term in terms of how we anticipate progress will continue to show up in terms of getting the government deficit reduced and getting the debt ratios relative to GDP lower.
The governor spoke to ZNS News also about what he thinks lies ahead amid an escalating trade war between global superpowers, the United States and China.
There's no reason for any of us to be panicked.
Some financial watchers have begun using the term economic winter to describe what may be ahead if these circumstances persist, meaning economic hardships, slowdowns, recessions compounded by increased unemployment all await us. The governor, however, feels there will be impact to our tourism sector, as he's indicated before, if the trade war intensifies. But that, he says, is far from near.
We just be calm and level-headed and just exercise, an appropriate amount of caution and consideration in terms of how you plan, those major expenditures and expenses in the near term.
This expert believes consumers right now should continue to use common sense practices when spending.
You want people to continue to focus on how they plan for their finances, whether it's mortgages or other large activities, over a medium and longer term perspective, and to always have a very strong focus on being disciplined and balanced in terms of, trying to have some of your income, accumulate in savings, because your savings really tend to be a part of the cushion or the buffer, when you encounter these sort of uncertainties.
The governor of the central bank acknowledges that these are uncertain times and predicts a cooling of sorts of our economy ahead. But even with this chilling picture, Governor Rowell is adamant that the country is not headed for an economic winter. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Corvell Pyfrom.
Thanks for the reporting, Corvell. New at 11, Foreign Affairs Minister Fred Mitchell is not overly concerned about the recent Trump-imposed 10% base tariff on exports from more than 100 countries across the globe, including the Bahamas. The tax has caused some to fear that it will have a crippling effect on certain sectors of our economy, primarily our two largest exports, seafood and oil. But Minister Mitchell says it's unlikely the effects will be that significant, and for right now, he's minded to just wait and see.
We are scrupulously watching what's happening, but we are only a part of the sideshow. We're not part of the whatever is going on the international scene in terms of the inter-parties relationship between the United States and China. That's big people's business, not ours.
According to Minister Mitchell, he's more concerned about the trade war, which appears to be escalating by the day. He believes the longer this plays out, the more adversely impacted the Bahamas will be. Minister Mitchell shared how a global trade war will have almost certain immediate impact, as well as what's being done ahead of any major shifts.
One is to see how we can insulate ourselves from the price effects on the inputs which come for tourism, and secondly, to be sure that it does not so adversely affect consumers in this country who have to buy food and other provisions in order to make it.
A review has been completed into the timelines and decision-making process behind the recent publication of government contracts. And despite the opposition's claims over one particular allocation, Director of Communications in the Office of the Prime Minister, Latrey Ramming, says no evidence of improper intent has been found. The contract tied to urgent public works in Grand Bahama involved a project management model, meaning funds would have been distributed among several contractors and not just one. According to Ramming, after a thorough review, a revised statement will be released.
That an administrative error led to the inclusion of an allocation that had been previously paused under his instructions. While the need for public works in Grand Bahama remains real, and the specific matter was set aside for further review, unfortunately, the instruction was not reflected in the final published list. As stated in our previous statements, there were no wrongdoing, no improper intent, and no malfeasance.
Describing it as a breakdown in communication, which ultimately led to the inclusion of the now paused contract published in the list, Director Ramming says he is unclear of exactly where it occurred.
My understanding that this matter was intervened at the cabinet level by the Prime Minister. It may have been early in this year, but I will reach on further clarity insofar as to date. There was some breakdown in the communication either between the decision being made at the cabinet level and the administration itself. But these things happen. Internal communication is something that we always have to seek to improve. But the right thing to do is when there is something that needs to be corrected, that we publicly say that there was an error.
3 months on the job and the country's top cop is sharing what inroads she's made. Here's Felicity Darville with a closer look on how Commissioner Shanta Knowles, the first woman to hold the seat, has sought to effectively lead the Royal Bahamas Police Force during a critical time.
When Commissioner Shanta Emily Knowles was officially appointed on January 3rd this year, there were two major goals she set out to achieve. She wanted all officers to receive ethics training, and she wanted to evaluate every police station in the country. On both points, she's made extraordinary progress. As leader, the Commissioner wants to ensure that every police officer has an enhanced understanding of ethical principles and improved decision-making skills, especially when engaging with the public. She believes this is vital in establishing a more accountable and trusted police force.
I did not step back to evaluate my productivity, but I do believe that with the team that I'm working with, we have certainly made progress. Out of the 2,656 officers, we have already trained 2,419 of them. And so I am quite pleased with what I'm seeing in the past 3 months.
Commissioner Knowles has also assigned a special task force to analyze all police stations to transform policing in the country.
We have established the inspection and review team, investigative team that will inspect our stations to make sure that they are in compliance. I am pleased to say that 5 stations have been inspected, and we will be reviewing those reports to see what corrections need to be made.
There have been a number of other advancements, including ensuring that all reserve police officers have been delivered outstanding payments. This as the work continues. With almost every police officer having undergone ethics training and every police station set to be under review, Commissioner Knowles has set a blazing path of leadership in her first 90 days. From the Royal Bahamas Police Force headquarters for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Felicity Darville.
Thank you, Felicity. Commissioner Knowles also revealing to the press today that a jet ski operator was taken into custody following reports of a tourist being raped while on Junkanoo Beach. 25-year-old Nicholas Major was subsequently arraigned on Monday. Prosecutors alleged he had non-consensual sex with a 23-year-old woman on April 1st. Major was not required to enter a plea. He was remanded without bail to the Bahamas Department of Corrections.
The matter was not initially reported right after the incident occurred. We know that the victim had left the country and had left this island and was at another cruise port in the Bahamas, and we were able to catch up with that person and to take the report.
Meantime, the search continues for a male jet ski operator reported missing at sea. Royal Bahamas Defense Force Senior Commander of Operations William Stirrup telling ZNS News that the young man fell from the watercraft around 5 p.m. Sunday in the area of Coral Keys. His jet ski was retrieved from the water, but there were no signs of the rider. Stirrup says a full team has been deployed in a search and rescue effort.
The Royal Bahamas Defense Force continued its search efforts today for the individual reported missing following a jet ski incident near Coral Key. This marks the second day of dedicated operations by the RBDF. Approximately 30 RBDF officers were involved in the coordinated effort, which included underwater drones, aerial drone surveillance, and surface patrol utilizing jet skis and small boats. Despite these extensive search efforts, the individual remains unaccounted for. In light of this ongoing incident, the RBDF also appeals to the general public to exercise caution and prioritize safety when operating jet skis to prevent similar occurrences.
Still to come, the Bahamas making waves at a global cruise conference. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight at 11. More news in just a moment.
Imagine a world where every brand knows your name and every store awaits your arrival. Elite shopping, travel where luxury is a lifestyle and every journey feels like home. Dine where every flavor is just for you, every table reserved, and every moment a taste of perfection. Make every big moment even bigger. Experience banking where wealth isn't just managed, it's maximized. Step into a world without limits. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Hello everyone, this is Tony Williams back with a special promotion from BahamasAir.com and GoGo Florida. The $100 deposit is back, but it's only on your debit card. So whether you're renting that sedan, SUV, or spacious minivan for group or family trips, keep your cash in your pocket. Only Dollar Thrifty is making it convenient for you. Your $100 deposit held on your debit card. Available at Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Palm Beach, and Orlando. Book now and save big all summer long.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, where safety is first.
A former deputy prime minister says the Free National Movement's change of winning in the next general election could be in jeopardy if its decision to leave Dr. Hubert Minnis off the party's ticket is not reversed. In this interview with our Devontae Hanna, he also breaks his silence on not receiving a nomination himself.
Former Deputy Prime Minister Desmond Bannister is mincing no words on the Free National Movement's future. Bannister, who served under Dr. Hubert Minnis, continues to support him.
The chances of the FNM winning without Dr. Minnis are increasingly lower than they would have been with him.
Bannister is blasting the opposition leader Michael Pintard's decision to not give Dr. Minnis a nomination in Killarney on the FNM's ticket come 2026. The decision was announced at a press conference on Sunday.
Regrettably, this shield is going up to pretend that the division does not exist, because that seat now is going to be up for grabs. That is a seat that the FNM could have counted on, and not only that seat. The Central Grand Bahama seat is also a powerful FNM seat that's now going to be up for grabs.
Central Grand Bahama MP Iram Lewis left the FNM abruptly, siding with the Coalition of Independents last week, citing issues surrounding his candidacy. However, Mr. Pintard revealed all of the party's moves are intentional, right down to revealing Mr. Bannister himself would not receive a nomination, which the former Carmichael MP says caught him by surprise.
I love Carmichael. I deliberately did not apply to be an FNM candidate this time, because I knew that I would have been turned down. And I'm not going to allow the likes of the current leader to turn Desmond Bannister down.
Tonight, Bannister is cautioning Pintard to consider the past when making his decisions about the future of the FNM.
When people were telling Dr. Minnis that Mr. Pintard had contested 2 elections and not won any, Dr. Minnis gave him an opportunity. The same thing with Mrs. Hunt.
While the FNM has announced some of the candidates who will not return in the next general election, questions still linger surrounding who will fill those spots. Party chairman Dr. Dwayne Sands says expect some announcements by May 1st. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Devontae Hanna.
The Bahamas playing a prominent role at a Sea Trade Cruise Global Conference in Miami, Florida this week. Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, Deputy Prime Minister the Honorable Chester Cooper, leading the Bahamian contingent at the event, branded as one of the world's largest annual industry cruise conferences. Over the 4 days, the Bahamians Pavilion is a hub of excitement, showcasing the country's rich array of travel offerings, new developments and places of interest for the global travel market. The Minnesota Star Tribune Online reporting today that Delta Airlines will begin nonstop service from Minneapolis-St. Paul to Nassau this winter. The nearly 4-hour flights will take off Saturdays from December through April. The Nassau news comes as part of another broad expansion in the Caribbean region by Delta. Officers who recently took an exit from the line of duty receiving recognition for years of dedicated service and putting their lives on the line. Daniel Dean has the details in this report.
Just on the heels of its 185th anniversary last month, the Royal Bahamas Police Force held the Salver Awards honoring 69 officers for dedicating decades of their lives to the profession. Especially having served in a time described by National Security Minister, the Honorable Wayne Monroe, as a time that's seriously different culturally.
We are at this crossroad because we are no longer civil to one another. You have witnessed brother kill brother over a can of corned beef, of all things. You now witness persons being killed because you get in an argument in a report I saw over paying the rent twice. As a country, in many ways, we've lost our way. I'm pleased to say that this is an organization that has not lost its way.
Of the deputy and assistant commissioners, chief superintendent, superintendents, and assistant superintendent, former Commissioner of Police Clayton Fernander, in his absence, was commended by Commissioner Shanta Knowles as having served the longest.
It's always a pleasure to show our gratitude to those who have served our organization and the community, and so it certainly makes me feel good to be able to bring these officers back here to police headquarters, to their home, and to show them how much we appreciate the work that they've done in our communities, the service they've given to the people of our country.
Retired Chief Superintendent of Police Walter Evans gave 39 years of his life to the force, of them 5 as press liaison officer. Evans fondly reminisced on some of the highlights of his career, one being the great show of community support to help find 2 lost boys in Adelaide back in 2009. But with all his years of experience, he wants those still in active duty to remember this.
Trust in God. Be persons of integrity, individuals who are called to serve. It's not just about the money, and it's about service. If they provide service, be very professional, and whatever they say would be professional, and whatever they do, treat our citizens with care, respect, and trust.
Reporting for the Bahamas tonight, I'm Danielle Dean.
Thanks, Danielle. Amajal Knowles has a look at what's coming up in sports tonight. Amajal?
The B3A is officially ratifying the 78-member team that will represent the Bahamas in Trinidad. Details of that story and more coming up in sports.
Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, we have been in Exuma now for the past 4 years, carrying out our paving program. A part of our company's philosophy is to do some work to international standards. So when you look at our paving division, we have a state-of-the-art lab to do all of our testing in-house, as well as a state-of-the-art asphalt plant with a trained technician carrying out the work on that site. The overarching goal of our company is to produce the work that we're doing in the entire Bahamas to international standards. We also make a difference by the training of our staff. We have a very intensive training program going on to where we are teaching young men how to learn the art of striping. Being a young man myself, I've made mistakes in the past. I was given a second chance to better my life, and it's only fitting that we pass it along. What's important for us is giving them a second chance for them to get a skill and a career that could take them further in life.
Welcome to your Tuesday Sports Check, everyone. I'm Amajal Knowles, topping sports. After much anticipation and build-up, the wait is no more. We now know who will carry the flag for the Bahamas and Trinidad at the 2025 Carifta Games, as the B3As officially unveiling the 78-member team last night. Our Eugene Stewart was there at the press conference and lets us know who will represent the 242.
After a successful and intense 3 days of competition, the B3A is naming their historic team last night that will represent the country at this year's Carifta Track and Field Championships at the Andre Rogers Baseball Stadium. According to head coach Derek Wells, the team is stacked with well-rounded strengths in many areas.
This team is going to be very, very strong. For the first time, we've had so many qualifiers. We had 90% of the team qualified, which means there was only room for 10%. And naming that 10% was the hardest job ever, but I think we did a good job in picking Team Bahamas. They're going to do really well.
Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, the Honorable Mario Bolag, addressing the group with a message of encouragement.
I know that you don't take this success as an easy one. Your hard work and determination has paid off thus far. You have just begun. You have not completed the task as yet. We must go down in Trinidad and show the Caribbean what we are made of and why we call ourselves 242.
Here's a look at the members of Team Bahamas. Under 17 girls, Breon Ward, Teray Forbes, Kiesra Thomas, Jade Knowles, Jasmine Thompson, Jayla Smith, Samara Crawley, Tanika Giddens, Alexandria Komalafe, Jose Johnson, Dallas Strawn, Anae Smith, Tiajane Green, Keely DeVoe, Darian Rogers, Brianna Boodle, DeVay Farrington. Under 17 boys, Jamal Deloach, Jamari Moss, Egan Neely, Jonathan Higgs, Akady Thompson, Kaiden Thurston, Jakaria Wilson, Rahman Roll, Obadiah Shirazar, Ainsworth Ferguson, Taryn Beckles, LaDavion Storr, Camelo Woodside, David Douglas, Caden Kemp, Akeel Williams, Wyatt Cartwright, Conron Henfield, Christoph Monroe, Jairi Woodside, and Zion Bradford. In the under-20 girls, Shantalia Dorset, Jemiah Nabi, Alexis Roberts, Akari Roberts, Aaron Barr, Bailey Major, Davini Dean, Kamari Hanna, Koi Adderley, Geraldine Givety, Anaya Roll, Jade Ferguson, Anae Mackey, Terrell McCoy, Tasia Stubbs, Diore Scott, Aaliyah Evans, Kylie Wallace, Kaylee Davis, and Micaiah Hitchman. In the under-20 boys, Aiden Kelly, Ishmael Roll, Zion Miller and Zion Shepard, Ross Martin Jr., Jaquil Smickle, Taj Brown, Zion Davis, Morgan Moss, Joshua Williams, Claudius Boros, Kenny Moxie Jr., William McKinney, Carlin Archer, Ethan North, Nathaniel Smith, Najee McBride, Everett Frazier, Quentin Gordon Jr., and Emmanuel Adams. Team Bahamas is set for competition in Port of Spain, Trinidad and Tobago from April 19th to the 21st. Reporting for ZNS Total Sports, I'm Eugene Stewart.
Thanks, Eugene. And from the track to the pool, well, actually to the sanctuary. Bahamas Aquatics 2 heading to Trinidad this Easter weekend, and their task to defend their Carifta swimming title and secure an unprecedented 7th straight victory. But before they leave, the team coming together to give thanks. 36-member squad worshiping together this past Sunday at the Epiphany Anglican Church on Prince Charles Drive. Team captains William Farrington and Elder Bird.
I mean, always give thanks to God, you know. We're very grateful for allowing them to have us in their beautiful church, you know. God will always bring us through this.
I think it's very important. We always need to thank God, and I think it all reminds us, you know, that we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. So, it's just, you know, helping us keep our mindset there.
And with a week to go, roughly, they describe the team's state of mind.
Obviously, you know, we're going for the 7-peat, so I think this is very important for us. We just got to stay focused and, you know, never, you know, put down our guard. You know, we got to go there and have fun, but also, you know, we're representing the Bahamas,
So, you know, we're going for this 7-peat. Everyone is strong. You know, we're the big dogs out there coming into this year. And we're just training hard, getting ready to get this 7-peat.
And finally, a feel-good story on this Tuesday. After a very long hiatus, the ZNS Hill Thrillers have made their return to the local sporting scene. Where exactly? The Government Departmental Softball League. Our Charles Fisher didn't suit up, but he was roaming the sidelines over at the Boyle playing fields and filed this report.
Government League softball season underway, and for the first time, co-ed is part of the league. ZNS Hill Thrillers with a thrilling team in their second game of the season, taking on the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture. Now, warnings, some of these players touching a bat, ball and glove for the first time, so the video may be PG-13. Diane, Delilah, and Donnie, the cheering section. Swing, bada swing, and some breeze from our weather girl, Diane. Agatha, I think you look better with a camera in your hand. What was that? Mr. Muscle, Victor, to the plate, the big swing, and he gets legs to run all the way around, but you have to give him some water. Delilah could talk a good game, know it all, but that swing needs some work, lots of work. Took my advice and look at the wheels on her. She has Olympic speed. Danielle Dean, she comes from good baseball genes, but her swing needs work. First game jitters, I say. Robert Johnson with the speed, and Zedna's right in this one close. George from BIS making the rounds as well. But the power came from late night news and from Western Jones with the speed as well. Inside the park, home run. The season is young and the bats will come around. For Zedna's Total Sports, I'm Charles Fisher.
Thanks, Fisher. Well, looks like I have to start coming out to practice to give you all some additional firepower for the games. That's all the time we have for sports on this Tuesday. A check on weather when we return.
Here at Immigration Care Service, you can trust us, especially if you have experienced issues or problems with the U.S. immigration at the borders. We'll do our best to provide options and solutions to immigration roadblocks, so travelers can continue visiting the U.S. and residents can continue living their lives in the U.S. without worries. The best part? Our services are affordable and accessible. Take the mystery, confusion, and fear out of your immigration concerns. Contact Immigration Care Service today.
It's time now for a weather check with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Royston. Heavy showers and thunderstorms fell on Bimini and Grand Bahama earlier today. Those showers are now making its way across the Abacosta, and that's associated with a cold front, which is pushing through the northwest Bahamas. And later on tonight, we'll get some of those showers here in the capital as well. Some will locally be heavy at times, so brace yourself for a couple of heavy downpours. Temperature-wise, 75 degrees in Marsh, Abaco. Green Toll Key at 73 in Freeport, Grand Bahama. The Berry Islands at 77. 77 also in Alistown, Bimini, 77 again in Fresh Creek, Central Andros. Kemp Space on Andros, Black Point Exuma at 78 degrees. Over in Alistown, Cat Island, San Salvador, and Rumkey, more 77s showing up. Another 77 in Georgetown, Exuma. 78 degrees in Ragged Island, Clarence Sound, Long Island, Crooked Island, Betsy Bay, Maguana, and Acklands. Matchitown, Inagua, a warm spot tonight at 82 degrees. Over in the Turks and Caicos Islands, they have a temperature at 75 degrees. And your forecast tonight, we're looking at overcast, a bit on the warm side, a couple of evening showers followed by a couple of thunderstorms, which will develop later on tonight as that front boundary gets a little closer. Low temperature tonight should fall off to about 75 degrees. And tomorrow, we're looking at variable cloudiness with showers and thunderstorms in the evening, heavy at times with strong gusty winds. High temperature tomorrow, going to get up to 79 degrees. And your extended weather forecast, very wet day tomorrow, particularly during the morning hours, where those showers could be heavy at times. But as we head into the afternoon, we'll see some slight improvement. And then as we head into Thursday, the skies just simply open up, lots of sunshine, taking us right through the weekend. But then comes Saturday, we have a reinforcing cold front that will push through on Saturday night, and that will keep temperatures during the nighttime in the 60s. So you'll perhaps want to keep those sweaters handy for another couple of days. So we're not quite done yet with the cold fronts, as there's one more still on the way. Royston?
And no complaints about those cold fronts keeping things nice and cool. Thank you very much, Basil. Well, that does it for the Bahamas tonight at 11. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. Thank you for watching, and good night.
Tonic Williams, Darling Highway. I'm Tijaro Hudson. This is ZNS.